Liv Morgan continues to have a handful of intriguing stories surrounding her, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's going on with Wyatt Sicks, Rhea Ripley, and more. Starting things off with everything going on in Liv Morgan's world. Liv Morgan continues to be the main focal point of the issues within the Judgment Day, so let's start things off there and keep working our way through everything. The Judgment Day is seen in their locker room, and the instant slow motion replay of when Finn Balor took the hotel card in the week prior is shown. Finn Balor might have gotten away with quietly taking the card last week, but since he was caught on camera and that moment was now replayed for all of Judgment Day to see, Finn surely wasn't getting out of it that easy this time around. Damian Priest confronts Finn Balor about taking the card and questions him about the act. But Finn Balor's cover-up story was that he took it in order to protect Dominik from the temptation and quickly threw it in the trash after putting it in his pocket. Is Finn's story believable? Sure, you may give him the benefit of the doubt. However, there's no evidence of Finn Balor ever throwing the card in the garbage. That part of this story is strictly 100% hearsay. He says he throws it out, but there's nothing solid backing up that claim from Finn Balor. All we know is that he took it, and there's truly no telling what he actually did with the card. So, the Liv and Finn affair and partnership conspiracy continues to loom over this entire storyline. It's still very possible that something is going on between these two that is yet to fully come to light. But the other story in the Judgment Day segment was that Dominik Mysterio was having trouble finding his vest and some of his other belongings that went fully missing from his bag. This was set up to pay off later in the night of Liv Morgan wearing Dominik Mysterio's vest to ringside. Liv came out to the ring to get close to the action of the qualifier between Io, Zelina, and Kiana James for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It looks like Zelina Vega was Liv's main focus here. Zelina and Liv have been exchanging some serious personal blows on social media, and it appears that this feud is now transitioning over to WWE television. Liv Morgan was there to make sure Zelina Vega lost the match and didn't get an opportunity for the Women's Money in the Bank match, which was a successful plan since Io won the match. Zelina Vega was furious after the match because opportunities don't often come around to her as it is. So for someone to come around and take one of those rare opportunities away from her makes her very upset. Zelina appeared to hint that she's now directly coming for Liv Morgan and the WWE Women's World title in the immediate future. And Zelina said that she likes her own odds to dethrone Liv Morgan, since Liv is very busy flirting with Dominik and the rest of the locker room. And Zelina does have a good point there. Liv Morgan has quite a lot on her plate right now that she's dealing with, so it really is the ideal time for a challenger to slip in there and try to steal the title, while she's so heavily distracted with everything around her. So it appears that Liv Morgan's first real feud of her title reign will be with Zelina Vega. Maybe that's even a match for the Money in the Bank itself, Zelina versus Liv for the title. But Liv wasn't done for the night. Dominik eventually tracked Liv Morgan down backstage and asked for his vest back, and Liv said he could only have it back if he took it off of her. So Dominik eventually gives in and pulls the zipper down, only to get caught by Damian Priest at the worst time imaginable, right in the middle of taking the zipper down. Dominik takes the vest, and Damian Priest tells Liv Morgan to leave him alone, and how Dominik wants nothing to do with her. But Liv insists that Dominik wants everything to do with her. Liv's character development from her return to current day is absolutely amazing. She went from a very ordinary and standard character to a now very in-depth, manipulative, unpredictable, and master of all mind games sort of character. So the character growth and portrayal of Liv Morgan definitely deserves lots of acknowledgement. The storyline is hooking a lot of fans in, and we're to assume that Liv Morgan's character will only continue to rev things up until Dominik Mysterio finally gives her what she wants and gives in to her completely. Dominik has stood tall for a few weeks now, but everyone knows things won't stay like that, and he'll eventually fold. So we'll have to see just how long until that next big part of the story takes place. Another small but very significant story advancement took place in the closing milliseconds of the Judgment Day's backstage meeting with each other. As the camera and audio is slowly cutting away from them, you could still hear Damian Priest ask Finn Balor if he's spoken to Rhea Ripley lately. And Finn's response is that he hasn't heard anything from Rhea and plans on staying far away from that situation. So that quick reveal there towards the end of the segment is pretty big, because it's sounding more and more like Rhea Ripley has cut off all communication with the Judgment Day members. The fact that Damian Priest is even asking others if they've spoken to Rhea Ripley is a clear giveaway that he himself hasn't been in communication with her. And Finn Balor is saying that he's going to avoid talking to Rhea right now at all costs. And based off some of the things Dominik has said lately, the last time Rhea spoke to him was shortly after King and Queen of the Ring event, and hasn't spoken to him again ever since. So Rhea Ripley is slowly going completely dark on the Judgment Day, a big sign that maybe she just doesn't trust them either, right now in the midst of this entire Liv Morgan situation, where people are sneaking around and doing shady things within the group. So Rhea Ripley is most likely keeping completely to herself so that no Liv Morgan informant will get a hold of the information and spread it over to Liv. It's sad that she can't trust her own group, but that's just how things are right now. She doesn't know if Finn, Dominik, or even JD McDonough would run and tell Liv Morgan everything, so she's keeping everything shut. The quiet act does build a lot more hype and anticipation for Rhea Ripley's return. She's not even talking to her own people, so one can only imagine what she'll be like and what she'll do when she appears again, and immediately, no doubt about it, goes right to Liv Morgan right away. There's no other way to handle Rhea's return than doing something like that. The first night that Rhea Ripley is back, she has to immediately confront Liv Morgan. That's how the story is being set up, so there's no other route to take Rhea's return in other than that one direction right there. More plans about what to expect from the Wyatt Sicks story is being reported from Fightful. According to these reports, Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks will be affecting several different stories in the coming weeks. The events of their arrival and everything they do going forward will trickle down and impact plenty of different characters and storylines. The obvious first one being Chad Gable. Since he was a victim of the attack, Chad Gable's status and well-being for his current feud with the rest of the Alpha Academy will be heavily affected by what we just saw. The Alpha Academy can decide to double down and leave Chad Gable alone for this fight against the Wyatt Sicks, or maybe they could feel bad and decide to give him another opportunity to be a family again. We know Chad Gable was also recruiting the Creed brothers in recent weeks, so he may turn to them as well following the massacre events. Other things such as prior character relationships are getting affected as well. Indy Hartwell, the wife of Dexter Lumis on WWE television, took to Twitter after the massacre to announce that she wants a divorce from Dexter after seeing that. So it's going to be very nice to see Uncle Howdy and his family have a big impact that trickles down throughout the entire show. That's the kind of big act and impact Howdy was teasing this entire time through his teasers. So hopefully that's what we get to see. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.